For multiple millennia now, people have debated the identity of God. The ancient Egyptians identified gods or their gods as like dog creatures and whatnot. Um, Spiritualists will tell you that God is like a being, and Mother Naturists, I guess you could call, will say that God's a woman, and obviously Judeo Christians say that God is man. But I have proof, I think, that God is a man. And as crazy as that may seem, let me give you my proof. Have you ever asked a man to do something and he says he'll do it, but then you have to ask 500 more times? See, if God was a woman, he would do something immediately and then remind you 762 times in the course of 2 months about it. All jokes aside, though, you do have to ask God multiple times, for something to happen. There's a reason for that. There's three possible answers that you can get from God. The first is no, the second is slow, and the third is go. Because we all have a free will God gave us, but God also has a will as well. And if your desire is outside of his will, which is entirely possible, because even though it may seem so simple to have this desire, you throw a pebble into a pond and it creates many, 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 many ripples. A desire can also create many, many, many ripples and affect the will of God ultimately for the entire world. Um, so if it's outside of his will, the answer is going to be no. Sometimes if you are ready, or if you're spiritually ready, then the answer is going to be go. And then there's the third case where maybe you're not really ready yet. Suppose your prayer is a silly prayer. I would never pray for $1,000,000, but say your prayer was for $1,000,000, and God was like, okay, I know what this person's going to do. They're going to spend it all on wasteful stuff and end up being broke from it, and they're just not ready, or they'll do something it's going to harm them. Then the answer is going to be slow, if he sees that you can be spiritually ready at some point, and he's going to work on you. And that's where the multiple times that you have to ask him, it comes in. Because the more times that you talk to God, the more spiritually ready you will be for the blessing that he's ready to give to you. So, and God loves for when you talk to him, it may seem silly to ask the same question multiple times. Like, why can't I just ask him once and then move on to something else? Well, how many times have you called a friend up that might live 5 states away and you ask them how the weather is where they're at? Might seem like a silly question to ask, but it's a genuine question, and it's something that you ask multiple times. Well, it's okay to ask God the same thing multiple times. So that's why you have to ask multiple times. Now, I think it's funny when you consider that the answer can be one of three: no, slow, or go. Well, slow and go are both a yes answer, essentially. So your odds of getting a yes from God are, I believe, like 66% when you think of it like that. And yet, what was it, about a month or so ago, the Powerball was up to $1 billion. Everybody went out and got a ticket for that because, my odds are 1 in 292 million that I could actually win this thing. I want it. It's fun to play that little game of what I would do with the money. If I had the money, I've got this dream. One day I'm going to build an orphanage that's just like Disney World. So the kids that, grew up as orphans, even though they might not have parents, like, they could grow up there and love their life and become adults and brag about their childhood. It's just a dream. Anyway, I'm getting off on another tangent here. So your odds of winning the Powerball are 1 in 292 million, and your odds of getting a yes from God, if you continue to pray and grow your strength with him, is like 66%. So 2 in 3, and yet we don't often pray as much as we should, and that's one of the reasons why I created this channel. Every day I have a daily prayer of just a small little request for the day. It's not my only prayer. I'll pray at night. I'll pray during the day. I'll talk to God as much as I can. But every single day I faithfully want to have just a small little request. It's only usually like a minute to 2 minutes. It's just something as simple as the other day it was candy to Colombia that I'm sending to children in a church down there. I just want to make sure the children get it and it's not lost in customs. And that's still my prayer. It's sitting in Colombia right now, going through customs. Hopefully it'll get delivered tomorrow. But that's my daily prayer, is the reason why I created this channel. And, if if you have something that you want to add, to the prayer, that I can pray for you, if you wanted me to do it privately and not put it in a video, I understand that. Just say, hey, don't put this in a video. But I would like to be able to pray for you too. So in the daily prayers, if you just leave a comment, hey, this is what I'm going through right now, pray for me on this, I would love to pray for you. And if you would do me the honor of liking this video and subscribing to the channel, the entire purpose, which I described in the intro to this video, our intro to the channel, is basically I've created this channel. I'm hoping one day I can get enough subscribers because I want to do missionary work in South America. I'm not the type of person to ask other people for money. And so my thought is, I could do something good for God by having a daily little prayer. And at the same time, people who subscribe and pay absolutely no money to me can get a big organization like YouTube to support this. Seems like a no-brainer. So that's the purpose. So again, if you could just do me the honor, absolute honor of subscribing to the channel, it would help me out tremendously. And keep on praying and pray for me, pray for this channel, and leave your prayer requests. And thank you for watching the video.